I'm Allendale's Chief Meteorologist Ryan Martin with a look at your midday weather update. Low pressure has made some progress to the east-northeast from earlier today, now sitting basically right on the eastern shore of Lake Michigan, moving into the state of Michigan. Ahead of it, we've got a front that's pushing through Ohio, cool front now working its way out of Illinois and into Indiana. And that's where the cooler air lies, behind that front there. Precipitation has been somewhat spotty outside of the line of showers and storms that's moving through parts of Pennsylvania and the mid-Atlantic states right now. But what we are seeing is a nice Canadian high-pressure dome nosing down in across the plains. Highs stacked up from Lake Winnipeg down through northern parts of North Dakota. Another one south central, southwest Nebraska. Another one western Oklahoma. Another high all the way down in central Texas. Now, honestly, they're all part of the same body of work, that high-pressure dome. But you like to see that pushing down in. That tells you that you've got the cooler, drier air that's really going to take hold and nose in. You'll notice this as you go through the next couple of days, as temperatures are going to be nowhere near that very mild air that we were talking about last week. And this is what we've been saying all along. It's like, look, okay, some mild air around, but let's not go off the deep end and talk about how warm the month of December is going to be overall. And I think there's going to be a lot of folks starting to backpedal here as we go through the rest of this week with much colder air coming in. Temperatures probably close to normal over a good part of the country, and this will set the stage then for a secondary push of colder air to come as we go through the weekend into early next week. Let's talk about that a little bit. Latest runs of the models, a little bit divergent still on systems tracks over the next couple of weeks, but we do see at least two, maybe three good, strong winter-like systems that are going to be tracking across the country. The next one that we have to watch closely will be coming out as we go through the end of this week and into the weekend. Nice batch of low pressure that's going to come out and try and stay a little bit farther south. Now, models, especially the European, hasn't really changed their track much on this. The European very close to where it was yesterday with this front as it goes toward the end of the week, making this a big storm event for places like Texas, southern Oklahoma, and then across the lower delta. We could see 1 to 2 inches of rain easily in that area as this moves through. And the very northern tip of the system will get into the Ohio River Valley. So it's not going to be a big deal for all areas just yet. The GFS model tries to bring it a bit farther north, but has less intensive precipitation. So we're going to be seeing this system come through and basically be a big rainmaker farther to the south. But there's going to be plenty of cold air to the north. And the thing that does concern me here is, if you recall, a week ago, models were keeping this most recent system farther south, and the low is a lot farther north now than what they were saying it would be at this stage of the ballgame. So I still think there's room for a northward swing here, just depending on how high pressure and how a trough starts to kind of work in. In any case, after this system gets out, the one that's getting the most attention for the country is a system that works its way across as we go through the days just ahead of Christmas. So from late the 22nd right on through the 25th, looks like a decent snow event. Lots of cold air in play, moisture developing in Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and we're going to be seeing this front probably draw some moisture off the Gulf as well as we head closer to Christmas. So good winter snows and a huge push of cold air behind. We're going to be seeing temperatures go way below normal as we head through the Christmas holiday there. Yeah, some warmer air off to the west, but over the middle of the country, a big push of cold air. That storm will kind of spin up through the northeast. The low may actually sit over the Great Lakes for a while, flirting with the idea of becoming closed off. So there could be a secondary batch of snow in there late Christmas Day into the 26th. And then what the models are really divergent on is what happens with the system immediately after that. The European builds in a monster low in Colorado, very close to that Four Corners area where we like to see winter storms dig if they're going to be a big deal for the country. And there's plenty of moisture in it in the mid and high level elevations out there. If this thing can eject out into the plains, if it's able to tap into moisture, I think that as we go through, let's just say the 28th, 29th, 30th, we could be looking at a second decent snow event. This one that kind of hooks out of the central southern plains, and that could be an interesting story as well. What's really interesting is the fact that the America model honestly kind of poo-poos the whole thing, doesn't really say there's much there. So a lot of discrepancy, and there's going to be a lot of things to work out here. I actually prefer the cooler and more northerly or central storm track out of the European for those secondary or the second and third systems than maybe what the American model is showing. As we take a look overseas, looking at a nice dry window in Argentina here going forward. We kind of talked about that this morning. There's nothing on the midday models that changes that. Next, real good rain for Argentina corn areas in terms of everybody getting it is going to be around the 27th into the 28th. That front looks good, probably 1 to 2 inches. Between now and then, drier air coming in. They're dealing with some rain moving out of the area here yet this afternoon, mostly far to the north. But there's going to be a drier window. Probably good for wheat harvest, what little is left down there. In Brazil, I continue to see, and I've seen a few more since we wrote this morning, continue to see some pictures coming in parts of Brazil that are talking about and showing excessive moisture. Not hearing complaints yet, but there's also no change in my forecast over the next 2 weeks. Actually, right on through the end of the month, I think we could be looking at maybe 2 to 5 inches of more rain over a large part of Brazil in the weeks ahead. If they've got excessive water issues now, this will not solve any of that. So this could be a story that we ought to keep our finger on maybe a little closer in the days and weeks ahead. Everywhere else, no major stories at midday, no major model changes, so we'll just kind of let it ride. If you've got any questions on the weather, give us a call at Allendale. I'm Chief Meteorologist Ryan Martin.